welcome to the news at 10 on Nta News24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Thanks for joining us. The headlines. Muslims mark Eid al-Mawlud to commemorate birth of Holy Prophet Muhammad. United Nations agencies estimate $147 million intervention needed for flood victims in Maiduguri.
Very terrible. I never pray for even my enemy to experience such a thing.
Federal government distributes free compressed natural gas kits to motorists across the country.
Any commercial motorist that comes here to enjoy the presidential CNG initiatives conversion incentive program, they come in here with a vehicle and they live with it. It's 100% free.
Muslims all over the world mark Eid al-Mawlud to commemorate the birth of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. But not many understand the significance and why Muslims celebrate the day. Let's join Tokwe Alabi in this report as he tells us what distinguishes the day, which corresponds with Sunday, 15th September this year.
The Quran emphasizes on one's duty to parents, and regardless of their faith, and duties to neighbors, relatives, sick people, the old and victims of natural disasters, the minority groups, and to promote what is good and prevent what is wrong. No individual's honor should be injured, and neither should a person be harmed. Prophet Muhammad is reported as saying, "A man is not a believer who fills his stomach while his neighbor is hungry." All these virtues are exemplified by the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and in a nutshell, he lived the message as the Islamic society he built was acclaimed for its justice and equity.
We do sadaqah with the little one we have. We don't need to have everything. Whatever you have, give to the needy.
So that you can carry along the less privileged. So, discipline, endurance, and empathy for humanity.
It was said that at its peak, a woman could carry a load of gold on her head and travel from Medina to Mecca, a distance of 300 miles plus, without being harassed. This is the man who is being remembered today. But it is heart-rending to note that all these virtues that this great prophet epitomized are in great deficit in many places. Today, corruption is rampant, promoted by the greed and dishonesty of the elite. The followership is disillusioned and angry by the lack of progress and development. Patriotism is therefore less of a priority to many as they eke out a living by all means, fair or foul.
The Quran said, I have not sent you except mercy for the whole mankind. It's not only for Muslims, prophets come to guide people to God.
We should see ourselves as a single body, various parts of which must contribute for the well-being of that body.
Stop complaining, do something for yourself, and government does not need to do everything, but somebody has to do something to be able to stay afloat.
We need to all put our hands on deck to be able to alleviate what is going on, particularly the poverty and the lack of ability to feed.
Eid al-Mawlud is generally not a time for merrymaking, but a period for sober reflection and devotion.
And for Muslims, it is to continue to uphold the ideals of steadfastness, honesty, justice, and forbearance as epitomized by Prophet Muhammad. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, Nta News.
Now, United Nations agencies say Nigeria needs urgent global support to address the humanitarian crisis resulting from the ravaging flood in Borno State. The World Food Programme and the Food and Agriculture Organization estimate that $147.9 million will be required to provide food and non-food items to the flood-affected people in Maiduguri and other food-insecure people in the northeast for the next 6 months. Musa Babal Aliu has details.
The breach of the Alau Dam in Maiduguri, Borno State brought about anguish, sorrow and uncertainty to the residents of the state. Floodwaters have taken over their houses, leaving them with no option but to move to safer ground. Some of them, mostly the elderly, women and children, were evacuated. Aisha Aliyu, a victim, says she found herself in a difficult situation.
It's very terrible, very terrible. I never pray for even my enemy to experience such a thing. For you to leave your home without any single thing, just with your own personal clothes, is not something to pray for anymore in your life.
More than 400,000 people who were displaced are being sheltered in night camps in Maiduguri. An air survey carried out by the United Nations World Food Programme showed that food, shelter and clean water are the immediate needs of the people.
You know, the flood has affected them. They can't have access to their banks even. So what we decided to do is to give 10,000 naira to each of the heads of household, both male and female heads household. This is what we are doing. Then subsequently we'll distribute food and non-food items to all of them. So far so good. We have mobilized cooks and they have started cooking food in this camp.
WFP established kitchen in 3 camps, providing meals to the displaced persons. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations said floods in the northeastern states of Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states have compounded the food security challenges in the northeast. United Nations organizations therefore appeal for more funding to support the ongoing humanitarian response, early recovery, including food and non-food items. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency is spearheading a complex search and rescue mission, leading to the evacuation of hundreds of families trapped in locations worst hit by the floods within the Maiduguri metropolis and environment. With many of such families yet to be reached, NEMA is calling for additional critical equipment to assist in the rescue efforts. Pauline Kuje-Van has details.
As the flood waters slowly recede from the city of Maiduguri down to Abaganaram and Custom Gambaru Road access, evacuation and rescue mission in these areas have become a top priority. NEMA and other emergency responders are racing against time to reach the stranded victims, rescue and evacuate them to safer places. The situation on ground is there, with many people still waiting for help to arrive. Specifically, the agency is seeking more boats to reach out to those stranded at Abaganaram and 505 axis. In addition to medical care, NEMA also provided tents to shelter the evacuated victims, bringing the total of displacement so far profiled to close to 200,000.
There are still cases of people trapped. We can't ascertain the figure, but we are sure there are into thousands of people. Our people have been moving into the SSS quarters and the 505 axis through the Abaganaram route. They have been bringing in people.
However, despite the agency's best effort, challenges persist as water, sanitation and hygiene remain significant concerns.
We're trying to avoid the situation of outbreak. The Borno State government directed the Ministry of Environment and Health through the GM Bosepa. They've been able to come and clean up the place.
The agency's work is far from over, but with support of the government and the people, they are making a significant difference in the lives of those affected by the flood. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kuje-Van, NTA News.
And Minister of Transportation Saidu Ahmed Al-Khali was in Maiduguri to sympathize with the government and people of Borno State over the flood disaster that ravaged the state capital. He was received at the government house by Governor Babagana Umara Zulum. Mohamed Goni reports.
Minister Al-Khali said he was in Maiduguri to commiserate with Governor Zulum over the tragedy that befell the state, as well as the death of the Commissioner of Finance, Ahmed Ali. The minister noted the magnitude of devastation caused by the flood and its impact on the social and economic lives of the citizenry.
Excellency, still to extend our condolences and sympathy for the tragedy of the flood disaster. It is indeed very catastrophic. Those who lost their lives and their properties, may Allah forgive their sins and replenish their wealth that they lost during these unfortunate incidents.
Governor Bagana Umar Azlim appreciated the minister for the visit, noting that he was among those who made phone calls to sympathize with him and deem it fit to personally come to identify with the government and people of the state.
I want to sincerely convey my deep appreciation to you and to our delegation for commiserating with us over what has happened to us. And may Almighty Allah reward you abundantly. We wish you safe journey back to your destination in Allah's name.
The minister's entourage offered special prayer for the departed souls and to comfort those who lost their loved ones and property. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, Nta News.
Government efforts at crashing down cost of transportation nationwide are receiving a boost with the distribution of free compressed natural gas kits by the Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas to commercial motorists across the country. Lydia Sampson has details.
The Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas is fast-tracking the conversion of more commercial vehicles to CNG. This, Michael Oluwagbemi says, is the only way to deliver the president's desire to bequeath a cheaper, cleaner alternative to petrol to Nigerians. It is also expected to deepen the faith of more Nigerians on the revolutionary impact of CNG.
Any commercial motorist that comes here to enjoy the presidential CNG initiatives, conversion incentive program, they come in here with their vehicle and they live with it. It's 100% free, both the kit and the installation. Now that motorists have an obligation. You're enjoying a government palliative. You have an obligation to pass on that palliative to the people of Nigeria. You should not be charging the same transportation fare as your counterpart that is using petrol. And so we are working with the unions, we are working with NURTW, we are working with NATO, we are working with Ritian, we are working with the Painter Taxi Association of Nigeria. And all of these vehicles also, as they are being converted, will be labeled. So you, the consumers yourself, will be informed that this vehicle is running on, at least partially on CNG. And therefore, you should not expect the same level of transportation cost on that vehicle if it's running partially on CNG.
In this renewed initiative, 50 kits per center across 18 centers in the country are to be distributed on first-come, first-served basis with proper identity and evidence of car registration for commercial purposes. The arrival of the kits to the designated centers is the dawn of a new era for deepening CNG, as acknowledged by these CNG users.
If this one be easy, it's better for me. How can I manage the price of petrol? This one is easy.
So the cost of the transport will be reduced drastically through the CNG.
He says conversion centers are growing in number as 130 conversion centers are functional across the country, with 120 more in the offing following collaboration with the private sector. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
This is the news at 10 on Nta News24. We'll take a short break. More reports in a moment.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to NTA News24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.
You're welcome back. We're talking politics now, and the University of Benin Sports Complex has witnessed the presence of the All Progressives Congress supporters from within and outside Edo states for the mega rally ahead of the Saturday 21st September governorship election in the state. Vice President Kashim Shettima at the rally urged the electorates to vote for the party's candidate to transform the state. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
It is the grand finale of the All Progressives Congress governorship election campaign holding at the Unibank Sports Complex in the state capital. The president, represented by his vice, Kashim Shettima, arrives in company of the Senate President, National Chairman of the party, 9 state governors and other APC stalwarts amidst cheers from the crowd. Next, defectors from other parties were received into the APC fold. After which the party's flag was handed over to the governorship candidate with an urge to fly the flag to victory at the forthcoming election.
I urge you to exercise your mandate by bringing about an enduring change, by bringing Edo to the mainstream of Nigerian politics, by voting for Monday or February, and then it imposes.
I have implicit confidence in your incoming governor, Monday Opedo. We are overwhelmed because this crowd is intimidating. This crowd is a symbol of victory for our party. This democracy must take place, this election must take place in a free and fair atmosphere, devoid of violence. And not before you.
For the candidate, his transformative policies and his impact on the lives of the people, while as a senator, makes him believe that he stands a better chance in the election.
We are voting for good health care. We are voting for infrastructural development. We are voting for agriculture.
With the flag to run the race, the APC is putting all measures in place to ensure it wins the biggest political position in the states. In Benin, Elizabeth Omoko, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Bala Mohammed, led other PDP governors to Benin City for the grand rally of the party to show solidarity ahead of the September 21st Edo governorship election. Good Luck in Naini reports that the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the party's leadership were also at the rally, where the candidate Asue Ighodalo promised purposeful and results-oriented governance if elected.
Garrick Memorial Ground was the venue of the rally. Supporters of the party from across the states, including members of PDP, Board of Trustees, PDP governors, the former Vice President and former presidential candidate of the PDP Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, converged on the venue in show of unity and solidarity. Speakers at the rally say PDP has all it takes to deliver good governance, asserting that with the candidates of the party in the Edo governorship election, Edo will enjoy more democratic dividends, and urge the citizens to disregard any act of intimidation and come out en masse to cast their ballots for the PDP.
We are together, we are unified. There is no division in the Governors Forum, and we are not pompous.
Obatake has laid a landmark in this country, and as such, you have to bring somebody who will be like Obasake or more than Obasake in 21st century.
This time again, we are going to show them Edo no Lagos. Aswe has been in government from time and time over, and so he knows how to fix it. I have a simple message to the INEC chairman. We should create a level playing field. Do you want to go back to where you were before?
He has promised the women of the Edo State political inclusion and participation.
When I came, they said teachers were no good. Today, he said, don't number one in education.
Acting acting chairman of the PDP, Umar Damagun, said the party is confident in the person of Aswe Godalu, adding that Edo deserves the best and present the party's flag to the candidate who promised to govern with the fear of God.
The way the people of Oyo State has accepted our candidate, they know that they have already decided not to vote hunger.
You shall be proud of us as your governor and your deputy governor. We shall continuously do the things that will make Edo State the greatest sub-sovereign in Africa.
In Benin, good luck in Aini. NT News.
And a bit on security. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa wants the troops of the Nigerian Army to intensify efforts towards securing Zamfara State. General Musa, who interacted with the troops as part of his one-day working visit to the state, expressed confidence that with improved synergy, the battle against the terrorists will be completely won. Jamilu Ibrahim reports.
The ongoing military operations against criminal elements terrorizing Zamfara and some other northwestern states recently recorded a significant milestone with the elimination of many of the terrorists, including one of their notorious kingpins, Halilu Sububu. The Chief of the Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, is in Zamfara State to boost the morale of the troops and to reassure people of the state that the military and other security forces are more than ever determined to end the menace. General Musa, who received a briefing and interacted with the troops at the Nigerian Army 1 Brigade headquarters Gusau, also inspected some exhibits recovered from the decimated terrorists.
You can see the quantum success that we've achieved. Almost 30 motorcycles, 3 PKTs, AK-47, AK rifles, RPGs, and a number of them killed. It shows the commitment that if we work together as a team, we can succeed.
At the Government House Gusau, the Chief of the Defense Staff briefs Governor Dauda Lawal on some new strategies being adopted by the military to win the battle against the marauding terrorists. He specifically announced the introduction of a new military operation in the northwest codenamed Operation Fansariyama.
What we are going to do now is we are turning the operation into a theater, just like how we have in the northeast.
My government is fully committed to cooperate with the military and other security agencies in the state.
The need for the communities in Zamfara State to refrain from any act of collaboration with the terrorists and to always assist the security operatives with credible intelligence was also emphasized during the interaction. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on Nta News24. Here is a recap of our top stories. Muslims mark Eid al-Mawlud to commemorate birth of Holy Prophet Muhammad. United Nations agencies estimate $147 million intervention needed for flood victims in Maiduguri.
Very terrible. I never pray for even my enemy to experience such a thing.
Federal government distributes free compressed natural gas kits to motorists across the country.
Any commercial motorist that comes here to enjoy the presidential CNG initiatives, conversion incentive program, they come in here with a vehicle and they live with it. It's 100% free.
It has now been 6 months since President Bola Tinubu ordered the reopening of Nigeria's borders to neighboring countries. What has been the economic benefits? In this report, Victor Azu examines the prospects and challenges of the open borders.
Nigeria shares land, air and coastal borders with several neighboring countries, including Benin to the west, Niger to the north, Chad to the northeast and Cameroon to the east. The land borders are set to facilitate cross-border trade and cultural exchanges. Air borders promote international business and tourism, while coastal borders support maritime trade, fishing and energy resources.
Border is not just a place to cross. It is a cultural point of interaction where the British and the French caught us differently. It is also a means of trade. The trade going on between Nigeria and Benin, Nigeria and Niger, Nigeria and Cameroon is little, but when you aggregate the number of people who participate, it's a huge trade. Border is also a security issue.
There are specific borders that are open for transaction. The semi-area border has been open for a while. Ijiroko border in the southwest has been open for a while. So, and some borders within the northwest that have borders with the Niger Republic, some with Benin Republic are also open. But generally, the borders between Nigeria and Cameroon, the borders between Nigeria and Chad, and some borders in Niger, in the northeastern part of Nigeria, are closed for security reasons.
While acknowledging that the reopened borders have provided a boost to trade and economic activities, the experts are worried that this may have also worsened inflation and smuggling.
Are we in a situation now whereby the open border has rather created opportunity for insecurity to flow? 1,400 illicit or illegal entry and exit points exist as we speak. And our immigration service is only able to man 86 to 90 of them.
It's a challenge that the Nigeria Immigration Service hopes to tackle by installing electronic borders, but that is still work in progress.
Yes, we need to increase our border surveillance. We need to employ more people in the immigration service. We need to empower them. Don't forget that we are having less than 30,000 immigration men and women in Nigeria, which is inadequate.
Every border that is recognized should be given infrastructure. People should pay their dues, travel with the appropriate document. It will be more beneficial to the country than for us to invest huge amount of money and time and resources to close our border, because it's enforcement.
Key players contend that without effective border security, the benefits of open borders may continue to elude the country. In Abuja, Victor Azu, Nta News.
And just before we close, let's just bring you some news from the presidency that says President Bola Tinubu will return to Abuja on Sunday following his official visit to China and his short stay in the United Kingdom. President Tinubu left Abuja for Beijing on the 29th of August and started his official visit on Tuesday, September 2nd, with a meeting with President Xi Jinping at the Great Hall of the People. And while in China, President Tinubu had bilateral meetings with the presidents, and 5 memoranda of understanding were signed between the two countries. President Tinubu led his delegation to another round of bilateral talks with Chinese Premier Li Qiang the following day. Among the MOUs signed were the cooperation plan between Nigeria and China, which was jointly promote the Belt and Road Initiative, cooperation in the peaceful application of nuclear energy, and strengthening cooperation on human resource development under the Global Development Initiative. After his trip in Beijing, he made a brief stop to London, where he met with King Charles III when the issues relating to climate action were discussed. And with that, we conclude the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adigunloye.